Hi, I'm Cherie Crim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I'm running because I love our city. I have the experience and dedication to make a difference here. I believe our government should listen to and work for its people. I will be focusing on our community, our environment, and I will always be an advocate for transparency. On April 21st, vote for me, Cherie. My name is Cherie Crim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I approve this advertisement.
Hello. I so enjoy seeing that commercial, even though I'm not running anymore for Panama City Beach City Council. I want to say it was absolutely one of the best things I could have ever done. And I really believe that working with our community is where we need to go. So community, environment, transparency, these are still the things today that we need to work on here. And I am just so excited to be with you again tonight. Episode four. Back to, thinking of our community. We need to think about the victims, and I say victims, Hurricane Ida. I mean, we know what it's like, Bay County, to be there. So please, there are lots of groups taking donations over. Please think about helping. What can you donate monetarily, items, whatever, because we know what it's like in Bay County to go through a hurricane. And we need to be there for our friends over in Louisiana because they are really seeing some of the history that was destroyed. Yeah, we know what it's like in Bay County. Let's go help, do what you can to help people over in Louisiana and with Hurricane Ida. So with all of that being said, I'm super excited today to start off with a video from our favorite Congressman, Neil Dunn. This week, he specifically says that don't be fooled by the socialist Trojan horse, which is what he's talking about with the infrastructure bill and everything that's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to share the video really fast here. It's always fun to work on this entire screen. Trying to find it. Where is the video? I might have to share video file. There we go. All right.
This week, the House is taking up another spending bill. This time, it's a $3.5 trillion bill that's supposed to be about infrastructure, but it's not. It's a socialist Trojan horse packed with all of their dreams and wishes. It lowers the military spending to the lowest level it's been in 80 years. I don't know about you, but I'm watching Afghanistan. I think now is a bad time to cut the budget on the military. This is a bad bill for America, and it's a bad deal for Florida. I'm Neil Dunn, your doctor on the Hill.
Wow. Well, thank you, Neil Dunn. Thank you, Neil Dunn, for sharing that with us. And I really love, the bill's not about roads and bridges. It's not about infrastructure. And why can't we have a bill that helps everyone? And I understand military spending has been growing and we need to look at all of our spending. I get it. But we've been cutting taxes on the rich for a really long time. So it really shouldn't be too hard to go back and look at our budget and see what we can do here. Because what if we were to maybe make companies pay their taxes? So speaking of taxes, what about the child tax credit information? So Neil Dunn so helpfully put in his newsletter this week the child tax credit information that the Internal Revenue Service is delivering monthly advanced child tax credit payments to about 35 million families. Well, Neil Dunn, you didn't vote for any of these. You didn't vote for this. But thank you for covering it. I really appreciate it. I really do, because it is important that these tax credits are getting to the families that need them. So thank you for putting in your newsletter, even though you didn't vote for it for anybody here in our area. And lastly, we got to love his coronavirus updates. First line says what, y'all? get vaccinated. Okay. He encourages you to set up a vaccination appointment. And then of course he wants you to go get the antibody treatment really quickly. And we have one of those here in Bay County. So don't think that you can't go do that. So very interesting looking at Neil Dunn this week. I know that keeping us with the us versus them is exactly what the politicians want. And that right there is what frustrates me, because I'm here to work with everybody. And I would believe that every person who's running for office should be, but that's not the way it goes. So how about let's think about what's going on over in Panama City Beach. I don't know if you guys saw, but they're actually, it's really one of the fun things here. They actually just put out, I'm going to share my my screen with you, my whole screen, and it's quite fun sometimes. There we go. Share the entire screen. There we go. I love when it goes out like that. So this right here is so amazing. This actually, they had a city council meeting last week to discuss this. And this is actually what the city council in Panama City sent out. And I really understand why they wrote things the way they did. I do, but read it. There are roughly 20,000 property owners and even more concerned residents in the city. Your kind, good-natured, and cooperation conduct is appreciated and allows for all to be heard in an orderly fashion. Blah, 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 blah. There are three choices. Number one, adopt the non-ad valorem assessments as proposed. 2, begin the process to impose property taxes for the first time in the city's history. And 3, cut services and capital expenditures. Really? Really, Panama City Beach? You're not any better than that? I mean, that is just absolutely just, it's just crazy to me. You know, when you think about running a government or even running a city, why does it come down to threats of taxation to get what they want done? It blows my mind. And the other thing that they tried to do, and that was just the most stupid thing ever, they wanted to shut down the pool. Why would they want to shut down the pool? The pool that the residents, the citizens of Panama City Beach use all the time. Why would they want to do it? To save money. You elected these people? I would have stood up and been like, y'all, there's better ways to do this. And I probably would have been able to find a way in the budget to make things better as well. So there's a lot of information that you can go see what's going on in Panama City Beach. There was a really interesting city council meeting. I'll say that. Their budgeting experience kind of makes me wonder, dealing with people and not answering questions. Well, they're really good at that because, well, they've become experts at that as they've been up there for so long. So, all righty, Panama City. Sand Jam's canceled. Why? Oh, I don't know. We have high COVID rates right now. So Sand Jam is canceled along with the Gulf Coast Jam, which was supposed to be coming up. So we're not having either one of those concerts going on, which kind of makes me sad. Sand Jam is a little bit more fun to me than the Gulf Coast. But now, this right here, are we ready? So thinking of, and I'm going to go back here to my pictures because pictures are always fun. Awesome. I hope you guys can see this here on the screen. Oh, it keeps going. So much fun. There we go. There we go. All right. So if you guys see right here, on Friday, there was an event at the FSU campus. And this event actually included a group trying to start a new pride club at the college. I was there for the LGBTQ Center, so I was beside all of this. So this is the, I don't know, full-blown hate that has come out, and I think it's really important that we see this, right? You know, this is the email. This is not the email, the Facebook that went out. These are being given away at the FSU PC campus. Left-wing indoctrination doesn't only happen in blue states. That right there absolutely just blows my mind, right? Like, why is this where we are at? Like, this just absolutely, it blows my mind that this was posted. So let's go into the details of this, because I got to tell you, it doesn't get any better. So of course, you know, somebody puts out there, what in the world is this? And the Bay County Republican Party says it's an admission of mental illness. Wow. So then you have somebody coming in and saying, Jennifer here, expressions of gender and sexuality are not hallmarks of mental illness. Hate and prejudice, though. And then Bay County Republicans say, bless your heart. This is full on. Let's keep going. Let's talk about full on transphobia here. What is the problem? Honestly, they have legal rights just like you and me. No one is questioning the legality of this, but there are cultural consequences to actively celebrating and normalizing transgenderism. It's usual for people in Bay County to understand that it isn't an issue limited to blue states or college town. It's being pushed on our students here in Panama City. Nobody's pushing anything. You have this, I don't know why they think people are pushing anything on anyone. We're creating a safe space. And that right there should be enough for us to keep going. Because I got to tell you, it just absolutely just breaks my heart to see this and to see somebody go full blown out. Now, I get it. You want to make a name for yourself, and you have a problem with transgender people because you have made that very clear, Bay County Republican Party. You also probably, if you have a problem with the T, do you have a problem with the LGB? I don't know. And the Q probably. So why? I've never understood hate of people who are different. I've always been a person who includes. And it's so frustrating because honestly, if this is the hate that we have here in Bay County, we need to call it out. And so I'm asking every single Republican out there, including all of y'all that are in elected office, to say something. Because when we don't say something, that's when the hate and the fear and the greed continue, right? We don't have to have hate like this, but we allow it here right now because why? We don't want to fight it? Well, I'm here to say, LGBTQ, we're here. We are a huge part of the population of Bay County, and no longer do you get to sit there and want to discriminate. It is time that we come into the 21st century and we understand that transgender people are awesome. And I know somebody's going to take that. Go ahead, take that. Transgender people are awesome, and make something out of it, because why not? That's the type of hate we have right now. But if you don't know somebody, or if you do want to learn more about what it's like to be LGBTQ, reach out. We absolutely can come and talk to your business. I can come and talk to your business. I can come and talk to your group, because the fact of the matter is diversity and inclusion is our path forward, and being good to everybody, well, that's part of life. And I believe that's what God would want. In fact, I know that's what God wants. What am I saying? That's what the Bible says. We got to love everyone and stop this discriminatory, openly transphobic information here. It was absolutely appalling that had to happen. What else had to happen? Saturday. Saturday's amazing, because guess what? Roger Stone was here. Did y'all know Roger Stone was coming into town? Well, he was here for Brian's kickoff campaign. So let's go and let's see what Roger has to say, because Roger Stone is what.
All right, there we go. Wow. This is an amazing turnout. I really can't wait to hear what I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, there are very few people that I would drive for 9 hours over 2 days to be with, but I thought it was vitally important to be here today. If you go online right now, you can find a little item called Roger Stone's Plan to Save America. Because you see, I am a warrior and I was trained and I have been readying for this moment for my entire life. Yeah. This country, this constitutional republic of ours is under attack as never before. And it is vitally important that we recognize the third plank of my four-part plan. And that is to clean out the elites, to clean out those who are self-serving, to clean out the rhinos, to clean out those who are in the Republican Party only to line their own pockets and the pockets of their friends. We don't have any time for business as usual. We don't have any time for career politicians, indeed, grifters who've been on the public payroll. No, like Donald Trump, Brian Cloudis is an outsider. Brian Cloudis is an America First candidate. Brian Cloudis is a person of energy, a person of integrity, a person who's running not because of what it can do for him, but because he feels a calling of what he can do for you. Now, the last time I was in Panama City was 1976. I was working for Governor Ronald Reagan, then running for President of the United States. And our state campaign chairman was a local businessman who owned a Chevrolet dealer, Tommy Thomas. A great man, a Marine veteran, a combat veteran, a real conservative, a former Republican state chairman who resigned that position to become chairman of Governor Reagan's campaign. Now, 76 was not our year. 1980 was our year. And I was excited to be here then.
So that was Roger Stone. Roger Stone was at the Spring Hill Suites on Saturday night for Brian Cloudis. So kind of funny. So I had to go look because I really didn't know what his plan was. So I went and I pulled up Roger Stone's Plan to Save America because I honestly hadn't read it. And, you know, you can go out and you can find people who went to this event. It's nothing that you can't find. But really interesting, you know, it's we must protect our elections. We must leave big tech. We must abandon the rhinos and then nominate America First candidates. So that is the plan that is out there that Roger Stone has. So the America First candidates, which I find really interesting because I absolutely believe that if we want things here in the United States, we need to pay a good wage and we need to hire workers and we need to rebuild things, which we have allowed to crumble in the name of greed and in the name of making the most money possible, right? Because companies have been allowed to do that and not pay taxes and, well, some other things. So that is what they want. They don't want career politicians. They want the money out of there so people aren't making money. So Brian just moved here. He is not a candidate. He is not a lifelong person who has lived here in the Panhandle. So it's really awesome that he's running. He's new here. I absolutely believe that everybody who wants to run for office and wants to run for the people absolutely can. And we should care about what's going on. So let's go see what Brian had to say during his campaign. Let me go forward.
You embody so much of what this movement is about. It's about resilience, it's about incredible heart, and it's about no matter what happens to you, you keep going. So I thank you for leading by example. I would love to recognize my incredible campaign team who is here. We've got Amanda, we've got Clint, we've got Lance, and we've got Evan. This is a group effort, so thank you so much to this incredible team that is working their butt off to make this all happen.
Well done.
I would also love to recognize my mother, who is in the back in the yellow, beautiful dress back there. When I told my family that I was going to be running for public office, they thought that I might have lost my marbles. But they had observed my journey over this past year and a half. I come from the theater industry, an industry that claims to be loving and accepting, and everyone is welcome in this theater industry. Well, I got to a point to where I did not belong in this industry anymore, and I had a choice to make. I could remain silent, or I could do the thing that I knew in my heart was important, and that's start to speak the truth. And for me, when I came out as a Trump-loving conservative, I mean, Lord, the you-know-what hit the fan. But with every, hit piece about me, with every friend that said they did not love me anymore or support me anymore because of my politics, it reiterated that I was doing what meant to happen. And Panama City is my favorite place on earth. I mean, look at this incredible view that we have here. I grew up as a kid coming to these beaches, and it was always my dream to live here full time. So living here full time and giving back to the place I love most in the entire world is an absolute dream come true. And so last year when I came here and got involved with politics on a grassroots level, I did not have any inkling of wanting to run. I just wanted to help. And when I started knocking on doors for Trump, I mean, Lord, we knocked on thousands and thousands of doors, and every person I would meet, they would say, you know what, we're kind of sick of how things are in this area. We feel like we're not heard. We feel like we don't have a voice. That's why we love President Trump, because he's such a rebel, and he continues to push boundaries in a way that no one really in our district is doing. So when we realized that this position was coming open, and I looked back at my entire year, everything finally clicked. That everything I had gone through was leading me to this moment to finally stand up and be a patriot for this district, for people that had been ignored for way too long. And I will tell you, it was the hardest year of my life, but it was ultimately the most rewarding year of my life. So I have now been working my butt off campaigning for myself now, so I'm still knocking on doors, but I'm just saying, hey, vote for me. And I voted, or we've knocked on about 3,000 doors at this point. Every single person's door that I knock on, the first thing is they're so shocked that someone who's running for office is even wanting to listen to them. And I say, hey, I'm Brian, I'm running for House Representative. Sure, I'm in a trucker hat and a cutoff t-shirt, but I'm here to listen to what you want. And for me, every person I meet in this district refreshes me and reiterates why I am running. And also, I'm going to brag for a second on me and my incredible volunteers who are here. We are the first in the entire state of Florida to qualify on the ballot via petition. So for me, I want Bay County to finally get the attention it deserves. This is not only the best place in the state to live, this is the best place in the country to live. It is high time we had a rebel here who was going to fight for this county unapologetically. I don't care what committee I get on in Tallahassee. I don't care who's giving me a 20 in my pocket. I mean, unless it's one of y'all. I will take your 20s tonight. But I'm not going to be bought. I don't have personal business here in Bay County that directly benefits from legislation I am passing in Tallahassee. I mean, it is It is time that we blow the lid off of this corruption. And oh my God, they are ripping me to shreds, but guess what? I've got my armor on. They will, yes, absolutely. And they will not get to me, because guess what? This is not about me as an individual. This is about every single person who is supporting this movement. And guess what? It takes one person to crack the entire system. If I get in, it leads to so many more opportunities in this district and this state for real people who want to make change. Again, if you want somebody who has all the answers, somebody who's done this the entire life, I beg you, do not vote for me. But if you want somebody who's going to ask the hard questions, the really hard ones, and who is going to unapologetically support you in Tallahassee, I beg of you to support my campaign. The fact that the majority of this district is really PO'd that red flagging was voted in favor of, it makes no sense to me. You know, even if there is something that I, in my heart, feel is very important, guess what? If I'm not polling my district and asking them what's important to them, I'm not doing my job. This is a representative role. My role is to listen to y'all and go to Tallahassee and represent. It's not brain science, y'all. So first of all, thank y'all for coming tonight. I do have to have like a plug where I'm begging for money, because unfortunately we do have to have a lot of money to support this campaign. And like Roger said, my opponent will outraise me. You know, he's called 100 of his friends and gotten $1,000 checks, and he's golden. But guess what? I have double the donors he has at this point, and I'm the new guy in town. Cool? So thank y'all so much for supporting this campaign, supporting me, and more than importantly, for supporting yourself and having a backbone to come out in public and say, we support this guy. We are not embarrassed to support him, and we want change in Bay County. So we hope you have an incredible evening. Amanda, this is my lovely fundraiser. She will be handing you materials as you leave this evening. And again, even if you think...
That was Brian at the Spring Hill Suites this past Saturday. So, you know, it's interesting. I absolutely 100% love that he wants to go after the corruption and that he's not here to make money. So, and he wants real people to make change, and people here do want to be listened to, right? I know that from going and knocking on the doors when I ran. People want to be listened to, and I truly don't believe it matters what party it is, but maybe it does. I believe that we working with our community and everything, thinking about our area, knowing that that is number one to you as a candidate is important. And that is the thing. So I went out and I pulled up. It's always fun because me and my goodness, working out everything. So I actually went and pulled up the candidate. So I know we've talked about this with the bayvotes.org, how you can find out the candidates and the information. But here's another way, and this is actually for the state level, right? So this is, let's go ahead and look at the 2022 election. So it'll show you, you know, who's up for being senator, right? All of these people so far have put in their paperwork to be our senator. Looking here, right? You've got all of that. Then we have our House representative. We have a few people that have put in the paperwork to run against Neil Dunn. Governor, whole bunch of people active in the governor race. Chief financial officer, commissioner of agriculture. Then you have your state senator. I'm not sure why George Gaynor's in here, but it looks like if you go on it, he filed the paperwork back in 2018, but I don't believe George Gaynor is rerunning. The understanding is Jay Trumbull's going to be running because he is termed out. So then you go over here and you go down here to, we are District 6, and you can go to Brian and you can actually pull up the petitions. You can pull up his campaign documents, and you can pull up his campaign finance activity. Just like before, you can see how many people, and I'll just go ahead and display here on the screen, you can see how many people have given to his campaign, right? There's 126. Some of them have been in kind. So you can go out and pull this and you can see who's doing that. But to Brian's point of, see, we pull it up, Griffiths, let's go to his campaign finance activity. Absolutely. He has a lot more $1,000 donors, right? You know that. And Jay Trumbull's one of the donors, and then Trumbull Bottled Water, Trumbull Water Services, Culligan Wireless, all of the different Trumbulls are out there. So you see this. But what he said was that he had double the donors than Griffiths did. And that's really not correct at this point. I mean, 142 versus 126. Let's be clear, you know, the truth does matter. I mean, and this stuff can be looked up. But I truly believe that when you go in and you look, you will see, and I'm going to go back here to this. When you look at where the money is coming from as well, I think this is a very important piece. You guys are seeing here, like a lot of this money is not coming from locals. A lot of this money is coming from Brian's friends, right? Or whoever. We've got Hollywood, we've got San Diego, we've got Minnesota, we've got Norfolk, Virginia, Cary, North Carolina. Now, I get it, and I did, and I want to say that I did get money from people who supported me, my friends and family. So absolutely, you could have money from all kinds of areas, but I find it very interesting. 142 versus 126, but Griffiths absolutely has the big donors, and I will go in and eventually pull those apart and see who is the one who's giving them the money. Trumbulls are for sure. Trumbulls are all over it, given to the Griffiths campaign and not to the Brian campaign. So can't wait to see what's going to happen here. I know Griffiths is the person that Bay County probably wants to win. But honestly, I don't know. We're going to see. We have a Trump Republican running. His name is Brian. He had Roger Stone here this weekend. That's really an interesting thing to have happen in your county. Oh, goodness gracious. Next up, bad advice. And this right here is just, dude, why? I don't get it, right? I just don't. And I'm going to pull up the picture right now. Like, really? Thank you, John Ward, MD. Now, I want to be clear. This was changed. First, John put out this awesome thing. And he said, and here's a pro tip to game the system. Train your child to tell their schools they had COVID over the summer. It exempts them from having to quarantine from contact. When the school nurse calls you to confirm, tell them yes, with no hesitation. You're good for 90 days when you tell them, and your kid can get an education regardless of the insane rules. Now here's the next one. So now the super pro tip. If your child is over the age of 11, tell the school nurse they've been vaccinated. Apparently the schools aren't allowed to ask for proof, and that exempts them from the quarantine the whole year. Okay, this is a doctor in Bay County, by the dermatologist, putting this out, right? So he got called out on this. So he went and changed it. And so if you see here now, he changed it. And here's a pro tip to game the system. If you read the protocol from the Florida Department of Education, it says if your child is vaccinated or if they've had COVID in the last 90 days, they don't have to quarantine. I'm hearing many districts and schools aren't requiring proof. So there's a way to keep your kids in school. And for all the pearl clutchers who are critical of such suggestions, how does this differ in any way from the stores that have signs posted that vaccinated customers don't have to wear masks, yet absolutely no one is wearing them? Okay, he literally went from saying, basically telling parents to lie to schools. Okay, what will this do, right? He went from that to that. You guys can go find it on his page, John Ward, MD. I just can't believe I'm even having to like be at this point knowing that a doctor in town literally told people to lie to Bay District schools. So do we want more people to get sick? Do we want more people to have COVID? Because let me tell you, COVID isn't getting better at this point, y'all. And we have to understand our vaccination rates are going up. So that is important to know. But we had some interesting things happen. And when you look at it and you know that, it's just one of these things. You just got to love it. Oh, I'm going to share my entire screen again because this happened. The ban was struck down last week. So the judge said that Governor DeSantis misused authority and parents' bills right within his order. So Governor Ron DeSantis' ban on mandatory masks at schools was mandatory masks at schools. That's funny. No, ignored it. He didn't want any masks at schools. Mask mandates in Florida. Like, really? This is the funny part of the news, right? The judge said DeSantis was wrong in determining that the state's new Parents' Bill of Rights law, the provision on which he based his order, prohibited school districts from acting on limits like masks. And I really don't know why, masks, an ounce of prevention, right? So an interesting story, a fable that I found. I actually heard it. I don't know if it was on which station. It could have been Joel Osteen. I don't remember who had it on, but I heard it. And it goes like this. There's a man who his house is flooding, and he is having to go up to the second story to not drown. And so a boat comes by and says, "Hey, we're here to rescue you." And he's like, no, God's going to save me. I've got this. God's going to save me. So then he has to go up even higher because the water's still rising, and another boat comes by. And he's like, no, I don't need saving. God's going to save me. So then a helicopter comes by because he's on the top of his house, and the helicopter's trying to throw him the rope saying, "Sir, we're going to save you. We are here to save you." And he's like, no. God's going to save me. Well, he drowned because he did not take the opportunities. And so he meets God at the gate. And God says, "Why didn't you take my help?" He's like, "God, I was waiting for your help." He's like, "I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter to get on, and you didn't do it." I feel like that's us with this COVID vaccination at this point, right? We have the ability to keep ourselves safe, to keep ourselves not getting sick. And I'll tell you, people who have COVID, a lot of people still don't have their smell or their taste back. I mean, I really don't want to lose my taste buds for the rest of my life because of COVID, but we don't know yet. Those are things. So we have a vaccine. I hope we take it and we keep ourselves safe. So, other fun part of this week, you've got DeSantis was not allowed for his mask mandate, but this new one, which I really don't understand how we got here. No, they don't want this horse drug to go out. There are people that literally are going out to stores and getting this particular horse drug, and they think it can treat or prevent COVID-19. Well, it's not true. It doesn't work. It doesn't prevent COVID-19, nor does it treat it. It is actually used to treat 2 relatively rare parasites. And at this point, it's used for deworming livestock, such as cows and horses. So this is really veterinary. It just blows my mind that we literally are there. So next up, let's go look at BDS schools. We want to see what is the update as of August 26th. We have new cases. Overall, there's been 290 total quarantine. Look at this overall. 1,075 since the last update. Percent of overall population positive. Schools involved since the last update. 28 schools now have had people sick with COVID, And currently quarantine per CDC guidelines is 1,188. That's Bay District schools. Then you have, and I'm thinking that it's not pulling up on the screen, but Bay District schools, let me go. Bay District schools, go back here to the share the screen, and we'll go to the Chrome tab. This is where I was. If you go to Bay District schools, you can see COVID-19 update. It's out there. You can go see the rules, everything. So these were the numbers I was just talking to. But this is this hasn't been updated. This is current numbers based on the current data. So I know they'll update again once they know. Then we can go see, and I find it very interesting to go see at the state level what are our numbers. So at the state level, we have, and I'm going to go ahead, the COVID-19 data latest. You can actually go into the Florida Department of Health and you can see our counties and the reports. And at this point, Bay County is running, well, a lot of places here in Florida are running a very high positivity rate. We know the new positivity rate versus the total positivity rate. And then the number of people who are being vaccinated. So our numbers are not as bad, but we still have a very high positivity rate and we do need to get more people vaccinated. So that right there is where we are at with all of that. So it has been a really nice time talking with everyone this evening, going through things. You know, we talked about our favorite congressman. We talked about Panama City Beach and just some crazy things that they're trying to get along with there. You know, we've had a really long, we've talked about pronouns and full-blown transphobia that has been seen now. Wow, just we are better. I know we are. Roger Stone, Brian Cloudis, there you go. I actually, just randomly, on the 4th of July, I did meet Brian. I went over there and I gave him some cookies because we had cookies. We were out with the Democratic Women's Club and we were registering voters and getting petitions signed. And I went over and I met him and his mom. I believe that his mom was there. I know we had volunteers with him, but I gave him a cookie because you know what? We have to get along. We can't have this us versus them. And that's really where we got to go. We can be better. And we can be better. So Bay County, what is going on this week? We're going to end up with this week in everything. Friday, St. Andrew's Art Break Day is from 12 to 6 on Friday. So it's always a fun time. If you haven't gone to do it, go to St. Andrew's on Friday from 12 to 6 for Art Break Day. We have the farmers markets that go on every Saturday. I absolutely love going them. Getting microgreens is my favorite. If you haven't had some microgreens, there's some spicy radish ones, which are just fantastic. Then we do have on Saturday night over at Bay Witch, which is downtown Panama City, they're going to have an interactive music night. And so that should be quite fun for all. I did also find, and my nose is running because of allergies, the food truck schedule. Lynn Haven has a food truck over at Leslie Porter Park every Friday from now through the end of October. So you guys will see on September 3rd, there's going to be like 5 different food trucks there. I know the Spices Right is amazing. I've had it. I don't know if I've had any of the others, but they're going to be there. So check it out. Go to Lynn Haven. We have a food truck on Fridays. And then, of course, randomly, if you haven't been to the Sap House, which is also in downtown, the Sap House is having a wine tasting and flower arrangement on Thursday night. So a lot going on. I mean, farmers markets, art break days, music at Bay Witch. There's also lots of open mic nights. There's comedy nights. There's so much to do in Bay County. Just go out there, do it safely. Go get your vaccination. I am vaccinated, and when I need my booster, I will go and get that as well. I believe we can keep each other safe and protect each other here in Bay County. And I really look forward to our next time that we're together. And I'm super excited because Wednesday is my birthday. It's awesome. And now at this point, I can say I have been in the workforce for 30 years. That right there once I turn, I'm going to have been in the workforce for 30 years. That's a lot of experience and a lot of time. So I hope you guys had a good time. Let me know if you've got any questions. I am going to go and check out the Facebook really quickly. I didn't see any pop up while I was out there just a little bit ago, but 1 second just to see if anybody popped open a question or wanted anything. So let's see here. I have shares, but I don't have any questions. So if there is something you want covered, let me know. I am working on getting guests. So this way we can talk about other topics here. And I can't wait to have some guests. So everybody, I hope you have a great Monday. I hope that it was informative. And if there's anything you need, my email is down at the bottom. Any questions you would like covered, you can email me at cherieforpcb@gmail.com. I appreciate it, everyone. Have a good night.